Hello and welcome back to my channel, Lydia Lost the Plot, and I'm here today with some autumnal vibes. So I was watching everybody's sort of autumn reading plans, and specifically Savage reads Simon over there and his autumn choices, and I thought, you know what, I'd like to share my autumn reading plans with you guys. I'm sure that you're just as nosy as I am and like to know what people are reading. So I thought I'd share my plans. Now, in September, I do want to get a little bit more non-fiction read. So I'm already reading John Vaillant's, or Vaillant, should I say, Fire Weather, which is phenomenal so far. And I'm also tackling the Waterstones fiction book of the month, which is Northwoods by Daniel Mason, and I am thinking that I want to start delving into some horror. I want to start expanding some of my backlist titles over the summer where we've got cozy nights in, and I'm going to have more time to read, and I'm not going to be sort of going out and about as much because, let's face it, who wants to go out in the rain? So I think I would be spending more time at home. So my plans for reading are, as you guys know, I'm naturally quite a mood reader. I read by whim a lot. I just tend to pick up what I fancy at the time and give it a go. I'm not great with reading plans, but there are books that I've selected here that I want to get to and that I would like to have on my radar going forward. So the first book that I've chosen that I think is going to be like super autumnal vibes and like cozy nights in, scary, is of course it's Stephen King, and it is the short story The Body. Now I don't know whether you could class it as a short story because it is a novella, I suppose. And I've never read it. Can you believe it? I've never read it. I think I read it in its original collection. I can't remember what collection it was part of. Different seasons. It's in different seasons. So I'm pretty sure I read it then, but it's such a long time ago that I can barely remember it. So I really wanted to get to it, and I got a copy, and I sort of thought, you know what, for those cozy nights in, you could probably read it in like one sitting if you wanted, or spread it over a couple of nights, candle going, you know, fire on. I think it'd be like super cool. So that is kind of where I'm starting off with my autumnal vibes. Do let me know as well if you're a King fan, because I love to know what you guys like too. The next book that I have got on my reading list is The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride. Now this is the finished paperback copy, and I'm not sure how I feel about it because I really loved the grey hardback, and I just don't know whether the blue, I don't know whether I'm vibing with it. However, I really want to get to it, and I've heard so much about it, and now that it's going to be released in paperback in October, I really want to have read it before it comes out, because I have had the proof for a long time. So I would like to get to this soon. I also think like I don't know, it comes across as something that, because there's like secrets in it. It's saying it's like vibrant and love affirming. Washington Post have said that about it. Epic and glorious and uplifting. And sometimes I get a bit down in autumn just because the night's drawing. I find it a bit difficult to sort of to be as bright because of how miserable the weather is. And so I kind of want to make sure that I'm also reading something that's going to lift my spirits and take me on a journey and absorb me, and I feel like this is the novel that will do that. So that was next up on my list. I then also, keeping in vibe with the horror, I really have to get to Monstrilio. So this is by Gerardo, Samano, Cordova, and everybody's been talking about it. And Waterstones Deansgate had an incredible launch day for it, and I just want to read it. And I feel like with it being slightly darker, a little bit bonkers, like, oh, those dark nights, you know, a hot chocolate, a mental book, right? So I'm thinking that this might be something that I get to very soon. I really want to start expanding my knowledge of the horror genre, because I do love it and I do enjoy it immensely, and I've had a few duds in my time, but I really do enjoy it, and I think I prefer it to the thriller genre and crime. So I want to start delving more into that and exploring new authors, exploring sort of the classic classic horror novels that I haven't had chance to get to yet. Because, you know, a lot of the modern writers that I read at the moment are heavily influenced by the older writers. I really want to get to Peter Straub as well. I've heard he's fantastic. Is it Straub or Straub? I don't know. Either way, good old Pete. So, yeah, so this is definitely on the list. And next up, I would love to get to There by Tommy Orange. Now, I think the cover's quite autumnal. If you're just going to base it off that, but also because of Wandering Stars and everyone saying how brilliant that is, I just want to kind of get with the program. And it's not a case of, I never feel like I have to read books because other people are talking about them or anything like that, but There's been on my radar since Greg at Supposedly Fun started talking about it, and that was quite a while back. And so now it's got a bit more hype around it as well. I'm like, I've got no excuse not to get to it, and I think it would be up my street. And again, it's saying that it's like shimmering with energy. Like, this is what I need energizing, absorbing stories. Also, I'm thinking that given that Tommy Orange's sequel or prequel to this, Wandering Stars, is on the Booker long list, I'm thinking that when the Booker shortlist comes out, whether or not I tackle it. So if you guys would like to see me tackle the Booker shortlist, do let me know in the comments down below, and I will do it if you want me to. But I need you guys to give me the kick up the bum to actually commit to it and do it, and then I will. But yes, There by Tommy Orange is definitely up there with the books that I want to get to this autumn. I think it'll have the right kind of vibes, and I also I want to have sort of ticked it off my list. I definitely want to get to it this end of the year anyway. She says that, watch us in 2026, and I'm like, There by Tommy Orange. It's possible. And then moving into non-fiction, I've got a couple of non-fiction reads that I've had for a while on my shelf there, and they're just sat there and I really want to get to them. And so I am aiming to try to get to like 1 or 2 non-fiction books a month, just to diversify my reading, to increase my book knowledge, and also to just sort of have a break from just fiction all the time. I think it's really refreshing. It's good to learn stuff. It's good to get your head in the game with sort of different genres, different styles of writing and things like that. I'm a bookseller by profession, so I also need to have a working knowledge of new non-fiction and also, you know, classic non-fiction. So I need to expand my knowledge a little bit. So one of the books that I've chosen that I would like to get to is All the Young Men: How One Woman Risked It All to Care for the Dying by Ruth Coker-Burns, and also by Kevin Carr O'Leary. Now, I've heard there's a little bit of controversy around this book about whether or not all of it is accurate. However, I would like to read it first before reading any of the stuff around it, just to make up my own mind, and also to be fully informed before I comment on that. But the content of this book sounds fascinating to me. It's all about the HIV crisis and the AIDS crisis, and what this lady did to help in that time, and her experiences of being around those dying of AIDS and those affected by AIDS at the time that it was most prevalent. So it's just again, my morbid curiosity completely draws me in. I really want to know more about it. It's also a crisis that was before I was born, and I feel like it's really important that I don't just read modern non-fiction and modern narrative non-fiction that's about stuff that I've experienced. I think it's important to also go back and inform myself about these big historical events and these big historical moments. So I'd like to get to this. It is a bit chunky, but I feel like I would really enjoy it. So yeah, that's that. And then next up is The Day the World Came to Town, 9/11 in Gander, Newfoundland by Jim Defede. And I want to read this so much. I mean, there's a plane on the cover, so it's guaranteed that I'm going to read it. But this is about Gander in Newfoundland, where a lot of the planes that were due to fly over America during on September 11th were diverted to this little tiny airport in the middle of practically nowhere, and how these people of this community came together to sort of help in the only way that they could in such a huge crisis. And I think that I'm excited because I think it's going to be one of those novels, one of those books that takes a kind of microcosm of the world, and it will represent so many things, you know, this little snapshot of time. And yeah, I just think it'll be really good, and I've heard a lot of good things about it. I am a little bit morbidly obsessed with 9/11. I read The Oral History of 9/11 by Garrett and Graff, and that was a phenomenal book that was so informative. And I think that I don't know, like, the more content I can get, the more I mean, I've watched every documentary going on it, and I think that it's a subject that will forever fascinate me. Now, this is a event that I was alive for, and I did witness, not firsthand, but from across the pond, and it was devastating and it was truly affecting. And so I have this sort of feeling about it, and yeah, I would love to know a bit more and inform myself a bit more about it. And also, it's gonna have planes in, so win-win, right? So they are my autumn reading plans. I'm hoping that I will get to a handful of them, hopefully all of them, but you never know with me, and that I will be able to hit some of my reading goals. I've already nearly surpassed my reading goal for the year. I don't tend to stick too stringently to goals or anything like that. I think, again, as a mood reader, I read when I want, how much I want, and what I want. And that's been really beneficial for me for this latter half of the year as well. It's been very freeing and really nice that I've been able to just read the books that have been waiting for me on my shelf. And I think putting something like this in place for autumn reading plans, that I will be able to then hopefully sort of channel my reading, so that I will be able to get some of the books that I've been waiting there for a while done and dusted. So please let me know in the comments down below which book you think I should be getting to first. Have you read any of them? Do any of them spark your fancy and you want me to read so I can chat to you about them? Do let me know. Also, please let me know what your reading plans are for this autumn. Are you going for the cozy vibe? Are you going for like pumpkin spice cafe vibes? Or are you going for full-on horror like I am? Let me know, because I think it's so nice to hear from you all. So do comment down below, and if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up, and please remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and it's absolutely fabulous to have you here. So that's that. I'll leave it there. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.